Good evening, folks. Papa Boris here. I've been playing a lot of Banner Saga lately. It is a tactics turn-based Viking-themed game. Pretty much creamed my pants the instant I heard about it. Anyway, this is not maybe the best video to watch if you've never played the game at all, but you might enjoy it just to see what the game is like and see if it's the kind of thing you'd like to get into. It is free to play on Steam, and it does use a very good free-to-play model, kind of like League of Legends, so it's not like the crappy ones where it's free-to-play in name only. This one you really can play and get whatever you want just by playing for a long time. Anyway, for those of you who do know the game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a ranked match or two, depending on the time, with a Power 6 team. And I haven't actually made a Power 12 version of this team, but perhaps later on I will update this to Power 12 since the recent patch did make that kind of the thing. So what I'm going to do is just describe the team, since this is the first video where I use it, and then if I end up recording future matches with this team, I'll just go ahead and get right into the matches. So anyway, the idea behind this team is very simple. At the core of the team strategy is that this guy, my warrior, my war master, I'm going to try to make him go twice with the war leader, and I'm going to do this at the end of my lineup. So that's the basic idea I started with. Now, I have these two raid masters who just block up the board in the first couple of rounds, essentially make it difficult for my opponent to get around. And then the siege archers, their objective is just to tickle the enemy team as much as possible and whittle down their strength, so that in the end game, my war leader can mop things up. So that's it at a high level in a nutshell. Let's take a look at the actual stats. I'm going to start with the war leader, because I think he's a pretty important unit. So, as I said in the beginning, my main objective with him is to just give my War Master another turn, possibly another Archer another turn. But I think it's a big mistake with this guy to go for the armor break, because really what I want is someone with a high strength who can mop things up after the rest of my team has reduced their armor. I've seen some people play with an armor break for War Leader, and it really doesn't ever work out well for them. So I recommend going for the maximum strength, then the rest into armor build, and these are all at a minimum. Really kind of wish you could lower his willpower a little bit more, but such is life. Now let's take a look at the War Master. So he's my heavy hitter. Very simple build with him, just a maximum strength, rest into armor, minimums, and everything else. He actually has pretty nice minimums. 3 willpower is great, exertion is good for movement. I do kind of wish I could reduce the armor break to 0 and put another point into armor, because you should never be armor breaking with this guy at all. The nice thing about his ability is that even if your strength is super low, you can always deal a guaranteed 2 strength damage and 1 armor damage with him. So you should really never be breaking armor, and if you are, things have gone terribly, horribly wrong. Now let's take a look at the other units. So the siege archers, maybe the only thing I do differently here from what other people do is I max out their armor because I want to be really aggressive with these. I want to get out there and start doing armor and fire damage with my special ability. So I really want to get out there, and I want them to be able to take a few hits. The break, obviously, that needs to be capped at 2 because their ability does break damage, so it's absolutely crazy not to have a 2 in break. For exertion, I just keep it at 2 just because I don't actually want to be doing armor break with my archers. A lot of people play archers as armor breakers and then killers. And for that, of course, you want high exertion, high willpower, but I don't actually need that much willpower or exertion on these because mainly I want to be using their special ability. Finally, the Raid Masters, they're both maxed armor and then max armor break, because somebody on your team's got to break armor, and if you're not planning to do it with your warriors, and you're not really planning to do it that much, at least not in a dedicated fashion with your archers, then it needs to be the Raid Master. So the first couple of rounds, they typically stand around and block the field. Then they start going in and armor breaking targets. Do kind of wish their strength could be higher. I definitely feel it. Sometimes I wish they could hit harder, but you can't reduce willpower anymore, and in any case I wouldn't want to, because I usually use up all their willpower in a close game. The one thing I might consider is reducing their armor break from 3 to 2 and putting an extra point in strength, but I've been doing really well with this strategy, so I don't feel any particular inclination to do so. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments about the strategy of the team, but mostly what I'd like to do is just show you how it works. I usually win in ranked matches just because it takes a long time for your rating to climb, and I think I'm underranked. But hilariously, I'm sure I'm going to play someone who just steamrolls me right now that I am recording. While this is waiting, just a quick note. You know what? Hang on. Let me restart this. There is this 30-second timer here, so you get bonus renown for turning on expert mode. I'm going to turn that off because with commentating and playing at the same time, I might need more time to think. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the order that you line up your team is the order in which they will act. So the other thing I might add here is just that I stagger my archers and my raid masters, because I found that there are a lot of times where if I have both my raid masters go up first, I really wish that one of the archers could come up first and shoot the enemy team while they're all still clustered together. I think in general people don't expect you to be very aggressive with archers. Most people will play their archers in a kind of traditional fashion, keeping them in the rear, trying to protect them, and then using them just to break armor on targets when the enemy comes forward. So people, when they see siege archers, don't necessarily space their starting units out, and oftentimes if your archer comes up early, you can get off a shot that does, you know, cumulatively 4 or 5 damage for 1 willpower, which is a very, very good deal. Alright, so hopefully the matchmaker will find me a match some point soon here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this team to upgrade it to power 12. I guess at a first approximation it would make sense to just upgrade everybody to power 2. But I don't know if I want to do that, because I don't really need an upgrade on the Raid Master's ability, so I might take up a Warrior to power 3 maybe and one of the Archers. I'm not sure, we'll see. Oh boy, sure has taken a long time to find a match. I guess if nobody's playing right now, then I'll just have to stop this video and call it a day. I'll put a table of contents in the description. There we go. Okay, finally. Armed with wings. Okay, so it's nice to take a look at your opponent's composition here. He has a strong arm up front and a warrior in the back, so he might do the thing where he pushes his own person forward to do an attack. But as long as he's not doing that, it seems like a pretty straightforward team. A couple of archers, a couple of random raiders, and a shield banger and a warrior. So nothing up front makes me too scared. You have to be a little bit careful with sky shooters, though, because they can mess up the tactic. Like if you go for like a move your warrior, give him another turn, move him again thing. If the enemy sees it coming, they can block it with an arrow, and then you lose 3 turns. But so far that's actually never happened to me, because most people just, in the time constraints, aren't able to plot out my moves that well. This is a pretty difficult strategy to play correctly against. So my setup is, barring anything wacky like a warrior right up at the front of their lineup or anything like that, I put my guy up front, I put my first raider over here, my first archer behind him, second raider on the other side, and then the war leader in the back. Pretty typical. I almost never mix this up, unless it's like the fire map or I see some weird composition for my opponent. The goal is just to shove these raiders out very aggressively and to look for an opportunity to shoot. So let's take a look at the lineup. The first person to move is this backbiter. That means that when this archer shoots, she'll be able to get the strong arm and the other backbiter, which is a nice deal. Now before moving, always take a look at your opponent's strength values. So this is actually a pretty low strength warrior. What is he doing? His willpower, exertion, and just a mix of strength and armor. The strong arm, a lot of armor, not that much strength. Pretty typical archers, it looks like, and then, you know, fairly beefcakey backbiters. Anyway, let's just go ahead and run out there. Turn on the ability. And then my archer is going to go probably to that spot right there, and then shoot fire right here to start whittling down the strong arm. Strong arms are admittedly a little bit annoying to face, just because they can shove your raid master back behind the archer, which is a little bit awkward. But it's not the end of the world, and I'm just going to happily come out here and take a shot. So I'll tickle him a little bit. If he wants to push my raider, he's going to have to get tickled a little bit more. The other thing that you have to worry about with strong arms is the possibility of them coming up around your flank and pushing you this way. I don't really see what value he would get of doing that with my raider. Most likely he'll just push my raider back at some point. Alright, now he has 1 exertion, but his archer just blocked him in from doing that. So yeah, he's going to be pushing me. He's either going to stand still and not take my damage from my coals, or he's going to push my raider back. Alright, so let's see, for the other raider, you do have to watch out for their warrior. This warrior can't reach that archer, but if I'm not careful, he might be able to reach this one. Then again, he has such low strength it almost doesn't even matter. So again, when you move out, always ask yourself, what do I want to do with my archer? Now this archer probably want to fire that arrow right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. I need my archer to stand there. Let's be a little bit more conservative with this raid master. Let's put him up here and block it up. Alright, so if he takes a point of damage with his strong arm, he can actually push my raider back. Now my raider, because he turned on his ability, won't take any damage at all from this. But it will actually stop my war leader, or war master, from being able to come out and kill this archer. So I bet he's going to do it. No, he's not going to do it. Okay, I think that might have been a mistake, because now I can move out with my war master, give him another turn, and then his archer is not going to be able to react to that at all. So, yeah, good deal. I'm going to take advantage of that and start tickling his warrior here. One other nice thing about my setup here is when you move out these archers aggressively, the enemy team, I mean, yeah, this backbiter could come out and attack my archer, but with 9 strength, he's not going to actually do that much damage, and then he has to be afraid that my warrior is going to come up from behind and whack him, which apparently he isn't bothered by. Okay. Well, this actually gives me an interesting decision. So I could go for a slow play here. I could move my war master out, then give him an extra turn with the war leader, and then go up and kill his archer completely. You always want to look at the initiative and see who's coming up after your master and after your leader. Now, it's the sky shooter and his warrior, so he cannot do anything whatsoever about this. If I want that archer dead, it will be dead. But I have another option here. I can also go up and do some pretty nice damage to this backbiter. But I think I'm going to let that backbiter be alone for now. I think what I'd really like to do is take out his archer. So I'm going to go for the slow play here and let that backbiter hang out. The reason is, 17 minus 11, that's 6 damage. I could bump it up to 7. I could really maim him. But this backbiter is just really not doing anything productive over here, so I don't mind kind of putting my war master out on the flank here and having him be pretty safe from any threats, basically. Alright, so like a good boy, he's going after my archers. That's fine. What I'm going to do is put my war leader right there. This way, if he changes his mind and wants to push my raid master back, he can't push him back as far. So that will, of course, leave him on the coals, but my guy will resist it, so that's alright. So I'm just going to go here and give my guy another turn. What I find is that people usually don't see this coming. Like, it's such a simple strategy, right? Move, attack, then move again. But people don't really give it much respect, I guess because it's such a laborious thing. You're basically taking up 3 turns to pull off a combo. But, it is kind of devastating, and given a favorable lineup like this one, you don't give the opponent any opportunity to respond. Alright, so here we go. It's going to go up. I'm going to use my ability here to do the extra strength and armor damage to his shield master. Quick note, you, if possible, don't want to stand next to the strong arm, simply because you'll take a point of armor damage if you do. Alright, he's continuing to go after my archers. That is fine. I do not mind. See, so he's kind of maiming my archers, but I really couldn't care less because I'm not using them for armor break or for... Well, actually, maiming doesn't even affect armor break. I'm not using them for strength damage at all. I don't plan to do that at all in this strategy. So with this raid master, there's a couple of different things I could do. So I could continue to block his strong arm. I could go over here and try to block his warrior, or I could start to do some damage. I think what I'm going to do is... man, that's a tough call. I'm going to soften up this backbiter a little bit. So just do a nice 4 armor damage to him so that my War Master can mop him up. Now you can see his guy actually got damage from the coals. That's another nice thing about the War Leader. By pushing forward a unit in the initiative, he makes persistent effects last longer. So my coals last longer, my Raid Master's thing lasts longer. Alright, so he killed my archer. I guess that's okay. Now I can go deal damage to his backbiter with this Raid Master. However, I don't really see any particular reason to do that, simply because with 15 strength and only 7 armor, my guy's going to be able to kill him in one hit, or maim him if I so choose. So I don't really need to do that. What I'm going to do instead is actually block his War Hawk, who is at the moment... nope, this guy's going to move first, so his warrior will be able to go up and kill my archer. Well, that's a shame. So what I'm going to do then is think about my life. Yeah, Let's go over here and go after his archer, I suppose. These sky shooters are really annoying, so if you can get him taken out early on, that's a nice perk. Alright, so he could kill my archer here pretty easily, and he's going to. Alright, now I don't really mind all that much that he killed these people, because that just means, you know, more turns from my warriors, who he has totally failed to damage. They're both fresh as a daisy here, so I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, let's kill off his backbiter. Notice I'm kind of stepping far away. This way, it's a little bit harder for him to get the first strike on my big warriors, and I want them to keep their strength for as long as they possibly can. Now, I'm thinking now that maybe I should have turned on this guy's ability instead of damaging the archer's armor, because with my archer dead, this warrior now is going to be able to do a little bit of damage, although not very much at all. Well, no, so yeah, so his archer can break my armor, and then the warrior can do some damage. So that probably wasn't a really good trade here. I would have rather avoided this damage. But let's go ahead and keep on trucking here. Again, I'm going to use the ability just to do some extra armor damage and to maim the crap out of him. So at this point, you always want to take a look and see, do you want to kill the enemy unit or do you want to leave it maimed? So this guy has pretty low armor break value, being a strong arm, and he's not doing a whole lot other than taking up space or, you know, pushing my units back. Now granted, taking up space and pushing my units back can be really damn annoying, so I think I actually will just kill that guy and try to just basically bludgeon him to death with my ridiculously high strength units. So this raider, yeah, I'm thinking, so I did 4 armor damage to the archer, but I'm not going to be able to follow up with any more damage because his warhawk's going to hit me pretty hard here. Or he's going to hit more of my armor. Interesting. Okay. Don't know if that was the right move. I really think he should have damaged me there, because now with 9 strength, I can really do a number on this archer before falling, whereas if he had hit my strength, I would have done a lot less damage to his archer. This is the thing about damage in this game, is you have to take care to strike a nice balance between strength and armor. You don't just want to go for all of them or for armor all at once. You really need to keep a balance so that you're limiting the amount of damage that the enemy's doing to you. Now, I wanted to get started with this guy so that either of my 2 warriors could hit him hard. Yeah, I didn't want to kill this strong arm just yet. Right now, he's really just wasting a turn. I mean, he could push my guy back and do some armor damage, but I still think I'd rather have that than this guy at full armor. So with 9 strength left, because this warrior didn't hit me in the strength, I have a couple of options with this Raid Master. I could go up and actually deal some damage to the backbiter, but I think I'm going to go over here and just send his warrior on a goose chase as I pick off his archer. Okay, so he uses strong arm to deal armor damage to my guy. I'm not sure if that was the right move or not. Pushing me back would have been pretty nice. It would have kept me out of the fight. Granted, right now I can't reach his warrior, so perhaps it was a smart move just to whittle down my armor while he had the chance. Why is he blowing on the horn? There's absolutely nothing he can do with extra willpower, unless he wants to go for a strength hit. So he's got a 70% chance to hit me for 3 strength. That might not be a bad play. I'll stand by that play. Or he's going... he's blocking me. I see. No, he's not blocking me. He's... Wow, that was not a great play. Okay, whatever. So he did 2 armor and 1 strength damage to me in exchange for dying. That's fine. So now he has 2 maimed units that are totally useless. 3 actually, because this archer is maimed as well. The archer has only 1 willpower left, so that's only 1 annoying trap she can place until he can kill one of my units, but the only thing he has that can kill my units is that warrior, and the only thing that he could possibly even come close to killing is that guy. I see. Okay, so at this point, it's worth it to start thinking about killing off his maimed units, simply because this guy with 12 strength, oh wow, he could really do a number. He could take off 7 damage off my warrior. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So he has to either go for my Raid Master, or he can go up and deal some heavy damage to my warrior. I'm not sure what the correct play is in this case, but I think if he kills my warrior, I'll be able to hit him with my War Leader. So that's a trade I'll make. I'll just go ahead and kill off his shield guy here. The Raid Master and the War Leader I've got back here should have no trouble taking this guy down if he does want to go in for the first strike on my guy. And if he doesn't, if he goes after this Raid Master instead, then I'll just be able to close in on him and kill him pretty easily. So, this game I think should be in my favor. I really don't see how the guy can come back from this, but who knows? I might be about to be hilariously and tragically whooped on. Alright, so he's going to get the kill on my Raider. Or, nope, he's going to maim him. I don't know if that was the right play at this point. This guy, you know, is pretty useful being able to do 3 armor break. Let's go ahead and close in here. Alright, so because I lack 2 exertion, I'm not going to quite be able to get up and kill this archer. So, good play on his part with positioning, at least. He's going to definitely try to get the first hit on this 17 strength, but only 5 armor dude. Alright, so with my guy, who's nice and maimed, I'm going to just take out some more of this guy's armor, so that when my warriors come up, he's not going to... he might be able to, you know, get the first hit on one, but he'll be whooped on by the other. Alright, now this guy's shooter is out of willpower, so no traps. Okay, now he has a charge on the horn. This is something important to keep in mind. Always keep an eye on your enemy's horn uses because, you know, things like special abilities or an extra point of movement can make a really clutch difference. Just going to go ahead and finish off his guy. This War Hawk doesn't really have any targets. He can only deal 1 damage to my Raid Master, so that's not a big deal. He's probably looking morosely at how little he can do to my units. So that guy's totally fresh. This guy's almost fresh. This guy has almost all of his strength, just missing the armor. Now, let's take a look and see if I can go up to the archer. So she has 2 strength. I have only 3 armor. I've lost, started with 9, so I've lost 6 armor. So it's like she has 5 strength, so she can do 2 damage to me. Plus another if she blows the horn. That is not a big deal. So I'm just going to go ahead and let her puncture me. It's nice to take puncture damage into account when you're considering whether or how important it is to be in or out of range of the enemy's archers. So you just count how much armor you were missing, divide that by 2, add that to the archer's strength, and subtract that from your armor value. So yeah, 2, not a big deal. And if she uses the horn here, that means that she's not going to have a horn to lay a trap later. Let's see what he decides to do. Shoot at my Raider. Alright, that was a pretty weak play. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this archer, simply because that will turn on pillage mode and give me more turns, which are obviously nice. Let's see what he decides to do. He could, of course, hit both my guys at once and deal some nice damage to both of them. He does have a charge on the horn and enough movement to get up there. I would recommend that, personally. You know, go out in a blaze of glory, whirling in a sphere of death, which is ultimately your own. So he's going to be able to do 4 damage to that guy and 9 damage to that guy, but his armor is so low that I'll still be able to retaliate and kill him. Ah, yes. Good. I'll commend him for his excellent decision-making skills. Alright, so that's 6 damage there. Let's do a couple more damage there. And I think, yep, my Raider's going to get the finishing blow. Alright. Oh, he speaks Russian. Не знаю, что сказал. That means I don't know what you said. I am a Russian speaker. This is the second time I've met a Russian person. The first time I met someone Russian, he told me in Russian, go suck a dick. And when I told him he should do that himself, he laughed and we had a pleasant conversation. Then I think he called me gay, but I wasn't sure. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please like it. I will really appreciate that. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. Otherwise, I'll hope to make some more videos of the Banner Saga soon. Stay tuned.